In civilization, we're up to the 2011. Look forward 10 years. How do you think the world will look then?
Well, if you take a 10-year time horizon, I think we talked earlier about how likely it was that by 2021 China's will be the biggest economy in the world. That's probably the easiest thing to forecast. It's a little harder to forecast what Europe will look like. There's a significant chance right now that the crisis in the Eurozone could get worse. And I fully expect it to get worse. I don't think it's guaranteed that the euro will still exist in 2021, and that could be a surprise for those people who argue insistently that we have no alternative but to be part of an ever deeper and closer European Union. The United States has a choice right now. In 2021, we'll know which way it chose. It could go down the route of Europeanizing itself, creating a welfare state that it can't afford, allowing unemployment to become a permanent feature of life for young people, or it could take some tough decisions now and go down the route of revitalizing itself in the way that it did in the 1980s under Ronald Reagan. I don't know which way it'll go. We'll know, I guess, next year who is going to run for the Republican presidency against Barack Obama, and a lot will depend on what the outcome of that race is. The really interesting question that we have to ponder right now is what the Middle East will look like in 10 years' time. As I said, there's a tiny possibility that could all end very happily with democracies of a Western style emerging in countries like Egypt and who knows even. But I would be very surprised if that happened. I think it's much more alarming to imagine a world in which Saudi Arabia is no longer a feudal monarchy, but is actually an Islamic republic in the same way that Iran became an Islamic republic in 1979. And if we find ourselves living next to a restored caliphate in which radical Islam is the ideology not just of Iran but the entire region, then the world will have changed in a way that is much more threatening to the security of Europeans, including Britons, than anybody today seems to be taking seriously.